Hello, I'm Neil, UK English Tutor, and today we're going to look at the more the merrier. Now this phrase is one that's usually used with people, but it doesn't have to be people. And we use it when we talk about a gathering of people, like at a party, a meeting, a holiday, a day trip, or even an event of some kind like a protest march, or if you're organising your own riot. And it suggests that if there are more people, it will be better in some way. Merry means happy, so the more the merrier. The more people come, the happier we will all be. So for example, if you're talking about a meal at a restaurant and you're trying to get more people to come, you would say the more the merrier, because the more people arrive and are sitting in the restaurant, the merrier you'll be. And if it's a meeting, although meetings aren't always fun, it could be more effective if everybody is involved in the meeting. And if you're arranging something like, let's say, picking up litter in one area of town, and you need lots of people to pick up all the trash, garbage, rubbish, then it would be true, the more the merrier, because you'll get the job done quicker and a better job done. This phrase works a bit like a first conditional, because it's like saying, if more people come to the party, it will be more fun. So it's like an if and a will sentence. Yes, this phrase has been reduced. It's been reduced from the more people come, the merrier we will be, to just 4 words, the more the merrier. So let's say you're having a party, someone says to you, can I bring a couple of friends to the party tonight? You could say, sure, the more the merrier. And if it's a meeting, then you could say, shall we bring all the staff to the meeting, not just the management? Then you could say, sure, the more the merrier, because I know it's not maybe a merry situation, a meeting, staff meeting, but it's definitely more effective. So there's something better about it. The phrase can sound a bit strange when you first hear it, the more the merrier, 2 thes in there. Another very common phrase that's very similar to this is the bigger the better. And this, like the more the merrier, suggests that if a thing is bigger, it will be better in some way. So you might say something like, we just won the lottery, let's buy a big house. Your partner says, how big? And you say, the bigger the better. Like for some reason you want lots of rooms and a big garden. I don't recommend a big garden because you need to do a lot of work to keep it. The bigger the better is what I say about cakes. Do you want a cake? Yeah, how big? The bigger the better. You want to rent a warehouse? How big? The bigger the better. When it comes to talking about a pay rise, usually the bigger the better. And I want you to dig me a big hole there. How big? The bigger the better. You can add more detail if you like. You could say, the bigger the hole, the better it will be as a swimming pool for me. And with the warehouse, the bigger the warehouse, the better it will be for holding all my stock. This phrase, the bigger the better, is quite common, as is the more the merrier. We also say the sooner the better, the quicker the better, and as long as the person you're talking to understands the context, this is very easy to understand. Lots of people know this construction, it's very commonly used. The general construction of it is the plus a comparative, comma, the better. In the first clause, if the adjective you're using doesn't have a comparative form, you can use more. Instead of the taller, the better, you could say the more expensive, the better, because you don't say expensiver. So, for example, you want a tall wife, do you? How tall? The taller, the better. You want to finish work early today? How early? Well, the earlier, the better. Can I go home now? And for an example where there's no comparative form, you could say, let's say you want to bribe a politician. It's never been done before. So you would say, I need a corrupt politician to bribe. Someone says to you, how corrupt do you need this politician to be? Your answer, well, the more corrupt the better. Well, they're the best kind. The more intelligent and hard-working your employee is, the better. If you're one of those people who likes really difficult puzzles, maybe in your opinion, the more difficult the better, because you like a challenge. So, these phrases, they can be understood in context, in conversation, because when you're talking about how tall something is, it's easy to understand, the taller the better. You're talking about how big something is, or the bigger the better. But you can tailor this phrase to be very specific. And you need to use more words, so I'll explain. For example, you want to drive your car really fast everywhere you go. We all do. Someone says to you, the faster you drive, the more petrol you'll use. Meaning, if you drive your car fast, you will use more petrol. Another example, maybe you want to spend all day, every day, sitting around drinking homemade brandy. We all do. I know I do. So someone says to you, the more alcohol you drink, the more drunk you will get. Or the more alcohol you drink, the less work you'll get done. Notice that these phrases are now quite specific. The more alcohol you drink, the less work you will get done. We've got more words now because it's specifying something. Notice that when in the first clause you're referring to a noun, we don't use a general plural with no article, and we don't use an indefinite article with the noun. What I mean is, for example, let's say you want to buy a big diamond, big diamond, to put on your key ring, key fob, keychain. And you go to a jewellery shop and you find out diamonds are quite expensive. And actually, the bigger the diamond, the more expensive it is. So we don't say the bigger diamonds, we just say the bigger the diamond. It might sound strange. The bigger the diamond, the more expensive it is. And for example, if you're talking about shoes, big feet need big shoes. So you could say, the bigger the feet, the bigger the shoes you need. So the diamonds and the shoes are nouns. This is why we say the plus comparative and then the plus the noun. The bigger the feet, the bigger the shoes. The bigger the diamond, the more expensive it is. When it's a verb, it's slightly different. You could say, the faster you work, work is your verb, the faster you work, the sooner you get finished, or the faster you work, the quicker the job is done. The longer you exercise, the fitter you get. And going back to nouns, the bigger the house, the longer it takes to clean it. And the more interesting the book, the harder it is to put it down. Those first phrases, the more the merrier, the bigger the better, the faster the better, the taller the better, they're usually just 4 words or so. They're really reduced and they're quite easy to understand because the second part, the better, is really just giving an opinion of it will be better. It would be better if they were bigger. It would be better if you finished sooner. It would be better if I went home earlier. But with the things like the diamonds and the shoes, they're very specific and they're not commonly known. They're just something that you've made up yourself. So you need to say the whole thing. You can't reduce them. You can't reduce the faster you drive, the more petrol you'll use down to the faster, the more. It doesn't make any sense. The bigger the feet, the bigger the shoes you need cannot be reduced to the bigger the bigger. It sounds good, but nobody would understand that. The more alcohol you drink, the more drunk you get cannot be reduced to the more the more. So you need to say these in full. In context, you'll be understood, it's no problem. You're talking about alcohol, so your sentence, the more alcohol you drink, it makes sense, it fits. Have you ever thought that the more English you learn, the more you realize you still have to learn? Anyway, the more you practice these things, the better you'll get. My name's Neil, UK English Tutor. I'll be back for the next video soon.